In the vast ancient expanse of the Galactic Confederation, one name inspires unshakable fear: the Dravari. These towering insectoid predators are not conquerors, colonizers, or diplomats. They are pure, living weapons, bioengineered thousands of years ago to be the Confederation's ultimate enforcers. When a member world rebels fails to comply or grows too ambitious, the Confederation doesn't send envoys or fleets. They send the Dravari. What follows is silence. No one negotiates with the Dravari. No one wins against them. They do not take prisoners. Civilizations vanish in days. Planetary systems go dark. The Dravari are feared not only for their strength and technology, but because they revel in the hunt. Their approach isn't clinical, it's primal. They track, stalk, and eliminate every trace of resistance, considering it sport. Because of them, most species within the Confederation toe the line. Fear is efficient governance, but then a problem arises. A new species, designated Homo sapiens, has been discovered on a small, barely developed world called Earth. At first, the Confederation barely pays attention. Humans are primitive by galactic standards. They have no faster-than-light travel, no planetary alliances, and their political systems are fragmented and inefficient. However, initial contact proves problematic. Earth's leaders refuse to submit to Confederation authority. Even after demonstrations of advanced technology, humanity remains defiant. They demand equal status, not subjugation. Worse, they begin reverse engineering scout drone components, showing disturbingly fast adaptability. The Confederation debates how to respond. Some suggest diplomacy, others propose limited sanctions, but one voice speaks louder: fear of precedent. If Earth is allowed to defy the Confederation, others might follow. The vote is cast. The Dravari are deployed. On the outer edges of Earth's solar system, long-range defense arrays pick up an incoming fleet. Massive bioships shaped like screaming wasps, wreathed in energy and cloaked in silence. Every advanced species knows the meaning of that signal. The apex silence has arrived. For humanity, it is first contact with a true galactic threat. Panic erupts in some corners of Earth, but governments mobilize rapidly. Satellites are repositioned. Militaries scramble to action. Civilian scientists are recruited into war councils. AI systems begin simulations. Earth's global networks spark with collaboration at an unprecedented scale. But Earth's leaders are painfully aware of one truth: they're outgunned, outmatched, and outnumbered. Still, humanity doesn't flinch. Instead, they prepare, not with hope, but with grim determination. The strategy is simple: stall, observe, adapt, and exploit. Earth's top minds know they won't win by force, but cleverness, creativity, and chaos have always been humanity's greatest weapons. As the Dravari descend toward Earth, confident, in another swift extermination, they receive an unexpected transmission from a global human network. "We understand what you are. We've seen predators before. Just know this: humans don't run." Then the signal cuts. The hunt begins. But in the shadows of Earth's atmosphere, hidden among clouded skies and deep oceans, something stirs that the Dravari have never faced before. A species that doesn't just survive. A species that adapts and strikes back. And so the galaxy's deadliest predators step into unfamiliar territory. For the first time in millennia, they're walking into the unknown, the Dravari. Fleet descends on Earth with all the might and terror they have built their reputation upon. Their ships are not merely vehicles of destruction. They are living organisms, grown to be nearly indestructible, with a ferocity unmatched in the galaxy. For the past millennium, these bioengineered predators have eradicated countless civilizations, with ruthless efficiency. The very sight of their ships crossing into a planetary system is enough to send entire species into hiding, awaiting their inevitable extinction. To the Dravari, this is just another hunt, one they expect to finish in days. At first, Earth's response is what the Dravari expect: chaos and fear. Humanity's military is weak by galactic standards. Their ships are outdated, their weapons primitive. The Dravari anticipate a swift campaign, a few skirmishes at best, and then Earth will fall silent like every other conquered world. But humanity does not fall as expected. Earth's leaders, realizing that conventional resistance would be futile, make a radical decision: adapt. They know that fighting with firepower alone won't work. They must outthink the Dravari. If they cannot match them in strength, they will beat them through ingenuity. Humanity's initial strategy is not to fight, in the traditional sense. Instead, they use their greatest asset: unpredictability. The Dravari have always hunted by instinct and strategy honed over centuries, but they are not prepared for the tactics of chaos that humanity excels at. Cities are evacuated, and civilians are sent underground, but not before they leave behind decoys. False movements designed to confuse the Dravari's tracking systems. Military units spread misinformation across the communication channels, creating the illusion of a far greater human presence than actually exists. Using reverse-engineered Dravari tech, humanity begins to deploy electronic warfare against the invading fleet, jamming communications and misdirecting targeting systems. The Dravari fleet, expecting an easy hunt, is thrown into confusion. Ships disappear from their expected locations. Energy signatures flicker out. Dravari commanders report a constant state of ambiguity. They cannot track the humans like they normally do. Their ships, built for hunting prey that runs or fights directly, become vulnerable in a terrain they don't understand. Humanity's cleverness. Meanwhile, Earth's military forces employ guerrilla tactics, setting traps in the atmosphere and launching small, nimble ships designed to evade the Dravari's more massive, less agile vessels. These hit-and-run tactics lead to ambushes where Dravari ships are sabotaged or destroyed in quick surgical strikes. Humanity also utilizes the environment of Earth itself, barren wastelands and deep oceans, where Dravari ships are unable to maneuver effectively, but it's the humans' refusal to panic that really turns the tide. The Dravari may have superior firepower, but they lack the unpredictability and resilience of spirit that humans bring to the table. Instead of being crushed under the weight of overwhelming odds, humanity fights back with creativity, using ancient, obsolete technology in ways the Dravari couldn't possibly anticipate. As the days drag on, Dravari commanders begin to realize that this is not the hunt they are used to. They are being outwitted. Their prey is not fleeing in fear. It is adapting and fighting back. A final, unexpected transmission comes from Earth's United Military Command, just before all communication with the surface is lost in a massive jamming operation. The message is brief, but it sends chills throughout the Dravari fleet. You hunted prey. You found predators. The Dravari, once so confident in their victory, now realize they are engaged in something far more dangerous than they had ever anticipated. Humanity has shown that it is not a species to be underestimated. They have entered the field not as prey, but as hunters in their own right. As Earth's defenses continue to frustrate and confound the Dravari fleet, something extraordinary happens. The hunt grinds to a halt. For the first time in centuries, the Dravari are unable to complete their mission. They are outmaneuvered, and it's not a temporary setback. It's something deeper, something that shakes the very foundation of their arrogance. The Dravari, as apex predators, have always relied on one singular truth: their prey always bends before them. For millennia, they have swept through the galaxy, eliminating civilizations with overwhelming force and terror. The Confederation calls them in only when everything else fails, because their very presence ensures that no species dares resist. Every conflict is resolved with a swift and brutal strike. But now, as Earth's resistance grows bolder, the Dravari fleet begins to experience an unsettling phenomenon: radio silence. The Predator Channel, the secret encrypted communication channel used exclusively by Dravari commanders, suddenly falls still. There are no reports of destruction, no triumphant declarations of victory, no communications of any kind from the invading fleet. The apex predators have gone quiet. The Confederation, which has always relied on the Dravari for maintaining order, receives reports that Dravari ships are now disappearing or being damaged far more than anticipated. Fleets that were expected to destroy Earth in a matter of days are now stuck in a prolonged engagement, with no clear sense of who is winning. The Dravari, once feared for their ruthless efficiency, are faltering under the unpredictability of humanity's tactics. Confederation officials, puzzled and uneasy, begin monitoring communications from their monitoring stations. They listen to the encrypted channels that once crackled with the fearsome triumphs of the Dravari. Now only silence. Even the elite Dravari warriors, known for their unwavering mental fortitude, are no longer transmitting their habitual reports. This eerie quiet is unnatural. Amid the radio silence, the Confederation military sends a team of scouts to investigate the situation. They find the remains of Dravari ships, some barely recognizable, others completely incapacitated. The damage is perplexing. Human ingenuity is evident in every ambush and tactical strike. It becomes increasingly clear that the Dravari are fighting a battle they were never prepared for. They are being outclassed, not in terms of technology, but in adaptability and resourcefulness. As more scouts return to report their findings, the true scale of the problem dawns on the Confederation. Humanity isn't just surviving the Dravari. They are making them question everything. Dravari commanders, once fearless and unyielding, begin to issue confusing, contradictory orders. Some call for retreats, others for blind assaults. None of them seem to know how to regain control of the situation. The Dravari ships are not designed to handle long-term campaigns of attrition, and their prideful sense of superiority has led them to underestimate humanity's capacity for cunning. Desperation begins to set in among the Dravari, and their fleet starts to fracture. Some ships turn on each other in confusion, unable to discern where the threat lies. Others initiate uncoordinated attacks, lashing out in frustration at the ghostly humans who never fight by the expected rules. On Earth, the situation is both critical and hopeful. While the Dravari may have superior firepower, they no longer have control. The human resistance is not just fighting, they are rewriting the rules of engagement. But the battle is far from over. Earth is not yet safe, and the Confederation is watching closely, aware that humanity's victory will change everything. Then, a single message is broadcast across the galaxy. It is not a transmission from any specific leader, but from humanity itself, sent across every channel they can reach. Terrans don't run. The transmission ends abruptly. The message is clear. Humanity is no longer hiding in the shadows, waiting to be hunted. Instead, they are embracing a different truth. Their strength is not in what they have, but in how they fight. For the first time, the Dravari aren't just facing a challenge. They are facing something they cannot understand. And that uncertainty is the most terrifying thing of all. The sudden, unprecedented silence from the Dravari fleet is more than just a tactical blunder. It marks the beginning of a new kind of warfare, one that the galaxy has never witnessed before. The once feared apex predators, those bioengineered titans who reduced entire worlds to ashes, have been thrown off balance by a species they once considered beneath them. And now, as they regroup, the very nature of the conflict begins to shift. Humanity, it turns out, is not just surviving. They are actively rewriting the rules of warfare. The Confederation watches with a mixture of awe and concern. For millennia, the Dravari have been the galaxy's enforcers, used to bringing entire civilizations to their knees with brute force. Now, for the first time, they are losing to a species that shouldn't have been able to resist. The Confederation's leadership understands that this isn't just about Earth anymore. This is about the very foundation of galactic power. If humanity can defeat the Dravari, it means no species is safe from them. It means the galaxy must contend with a new force, a species that doesn't only survive but thrives in the chaos of warfare. While the Dravari continue to try and regain control, humanity adapts at an astonishing pace. Their military forces, once ragtag and technologically inferior, are now making use of Dravari technology they've scavenged and repurposed. Humanity's ingenuity, something the galaxy has long underestimated, is the very thing that allows them to stay one step ahead. They've mastered the art of subversion, turning the Dravari's own strengths against them. In a stunning series of operations, Humanity sabotages Dravari warships, systematically disabling their flagship vessels with attacks so precise they seem almost preternatural. The Dravari, once so confident in their invincibility, are forced to rethink their strategies. As the fight drags on, their fleets are slowly decimated by increasingly clever traps, counterattacks, and guerrilla tactics. The real shock, however, is what comes next. After weeks of engagement, when the Dravari fleet is in disarray, humanity doesn't move in for an all-out assault. Instead, they send a quiet message to the galaxy. Their transmissions are carefully crafted, bypassing military frequencies and using public channels. In a simple, chilling broadcast, humanity sends a declaration that sends shivers through every ear that hears it. We didn't start this war, but we will end it. There is no threat, no boasting, no demand for surrender, just a cold, resolute statement of intent. Humanity is not seeking to destroy the Dravari out of hatred or revenge. They are doing it because they must, because they will not be subdued. They are sending a message to every galactic power. Humanity is no longer just a fledgling species. They are now a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy holds its breath, unsure of what this means for the future. The Dravari, once the undisputed, apex predators, now find themselves on the defensive. They are no longer the hunters, they are being hunted. The predators have been silenced, not through force alone, but through a species' ability to adapt, outthink, and survive in ways no one expected. The final moments of the conflict are eerily silent. The galaxy waits for the inevitable victory of humanity, unsure of how the Confederation and its member species will react. But one thing is certain: the Dravari are no longer the unquestioned rulers of the galaxy's shadows. They have been brought to their knees, not by a superior foe, but by a species that refuses to be conquered. In the end, humanity's message is clear, and it resonates far beyond Earth. We are no longer prey. We are the apex predators now.